Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Unravelling Ramayana. In this video, we would be discussing a little bit theoretical aspect. We would be discussing about the dynasty, the lineage of characters, and some details about the main places involved. So let's begin with the lineage of Rama. So even though the Ramayana revolves mostly around the life of Rama, Rishi Valmiki has covered a lot about his ancestry as well. As we all know, Rama belongs to the Ikshvaku dynasty, and the dynasty got its name because there was a king called Ikshvaku and he was a very great king. So he was a forefather of this dynasty. It's also called Raghu Vamsha because Raghu was another great king belonging to this dynasty. Now Ikshvaku Vamsha is also called Surya Vamsha because Ikshvaku was the grandson of Vivaswan, which is the sun. So Ikshvaku dynasty is a solar dynasty. Coming to the lineage of Sita. Sita, as we all know, was the daughter of King Janaka and his wife Sunaina. But Sita was not born to them. They found Sita in the earth's womb. So one day King Janaka was plowing the farmland for a yajna, and that's where he found Sita. And Sita was their first child. And after that, they also had a daughter called Urmila, but they loved Sita the most. And they named her Sita because it means furrow, because she was found while he was plowing. And Janaka was the king of Videha, and Mithila was its capital. He was born in the lineage of King Nimi. Now let's discuss the lineage of Ravana. Once there was a king called Pulasya, and he was the son of Brahmadeva. His wife was Mahatejasvi. So they had a son named Vishrava, and he had a son called Vaishravan, who came to be known as Kuber. So Kuber was a really, really nice son, and he was very good at tapasya. So pleased with his tapasya, Brahmadeva gave him the Pushpak Viman as his Vahan. So Vishrava suggested that Kuber goes to Lanka because Lanka was then a deserted land with no one living in it, and rule over there. So Lanka was initially long ago inhabited by some Rakshasa tribe, and they had moved away. But once Kuber came there and it started flourishing, so the Rakshasa tribe came back to live in Lanka and they settled over there. One of those Rakshasa was Sukesh, and he had a son called Sumali, and Sumali had a daughter called Kaikashi. Kaikashi was very beautiful, and Sumali wanted to find a worthy husband for Kaikashi. But it was really hard to find someone. And that's when one day Sumali saw Kuber on his Pushpak Viman. And Sumali thought, how, he's such a great son. So I want Kaikashi also to have such a son. So he got the idea that if Kaikashi asks Kuber's father, that is Rishi Vishrava, to marry her and give her children. So Kaikashi then ended up approaching Rishi Vishrava to ask for children. And that's when she went to the Rishi, he was in deep tapasya. And she patiently waited for him to finish his tapasya so that she can ask him. That's when he finished his tapasya, and when he opened his eyes, the first thing he saw was Kaikashi standing over there. So he asked her, what does she want? And she said that, he's such a great tapas, he has done so much tapasya. So with that Shakti, he should be able to know what she wants. So he just closed his eyes for some more time, and he understood that she has come here with the desire of having children with him. So he said, okay, that can be fulfilled, but you came at a wrong time. And because of that, all the children born to you would be very cruel and very arrogant and would be bad for the earth. So Kaikashi was very disappointed and shocked with this So she said, how can someone so great like you, some rishi so great like you, have cruel children? Please spare me from this. So the rishi said, the last son born to you, the youngest son born to you, would be virtuous and good, but the others will definitely be arrogant and very cruel sons. So Kaikashi had 4 children, Dashagriva, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, and a daughter called Shurpanaka. And Dashagriva came to be known as Ravana. So Kaikashi was very fond of Kuber, and every time she would tell Ravana to, learn something from Kuber, to be like Kuber, to get some of the qualities that Kuber had. And Ravana used to get very jealous and very angry while hearing his mom keeping on appreciating Kuber instead of him. So he promised his mom that he will become more powerful and he will become even better than Kuber. So he and his brothers started doing tapasya with this intention of becoming better than Kuber. After years of intense tapasya, Brahmadeva came and asked, what do you want? And that's when Ravana said that he wants immortality. And Brahmadeva was like, immortality is not possible. Anything that comes into the world has to go someday. So Ravana said, okay, I want immortality from Devas, Asuras, Danavas, Daityas, Gandharvas, Yakshas, Garuda and Nagas. Human beings are not scared. So Ravana was very confident that there will not be any human being that can kill him. He only wanted the above mentioned, he didn't want to die with the above mentioned people. So he said that you may exclude human beings, but I don't want to die with all the above mentioned. So Brahmadeva agreed, and thus Ravana got his wish fulfilled. And Kumbhakarna was born with intense hunger. He would eat anyone that comes in front of him. So he was basically just destroying the world. So Brahmadeva put him into perpetual sleep, and Ravana was like, please, Ravana pleaded for some concessions because he didn't want his brother to be asleep the whole time. So Brahmadeva said, okay, he will be sleeping and he will wake up for some time and then he'll go back to sleep again. So basically, thus we all know that Kumbhakarna just wakes up once in a few months and then goes back to sleep again. And Vibhishana was the good one. He only decided for one boon, and that was to remain in Dharma even in the most adverse of situations. So Brahmadeva granted that. Ravana had many wives. Mandodari was his chief queen. They had 2 sons, Meghnad and Aksh. Meghnad came to be later known as Indrajit because he won over Indra. And that is the lineage of Ravana. Let's now discuss Vanaras. So Vanaras are a very important part of Ramayana. They come in a lot of places in the epic. So Vanaras basically means forest dwelling tribes. And they came under a king called Rishi Raja who ruled Kishkinda. So Rishi Raja had 2 sons, Vali and Sugriva. Vali became the king after Rishi Raja, and he was very powerful, but he was very short-tempered. So Rama ended up killing him. There's a story behind it, which we will discuss in the coming episodes. But Rama killed Vali, and Sugriva was crowned as the Raja of this Kishkinda after that. So Sugriva was the king of Vanaras. There were other prominent Vanaras in the Ramayana, and they are Jambavan, Neela, Nala, Sushena and Hanuman. Hanuman was very strong and intelligent. His mother was approached by Lord Vayu and thus he was born. So he is also called Vayu Putra. Let's talk about the prominent cities in Ramayana. So of course the first most prominent city is Ayodhya. Ayodhya was on the banks of the river Sarayu, and when Dasharatha ruled, Ayodhya was extremely big. It was 6,000 square kilometer, and Ayodhya had very well laid pathways and royal highways and beautiful gardens, and there was no space that was left unutilized. farms had plenty of grains and stables had the best breeds of horses. So basically it was a very clean and nice and prosperous city. And even the water of Ayodhya is said to have tasted like sugarcane juice. So it was impossible for trespassers or thieves to come inside the city because it was well guarded and the boundaries were very strong. And thus it got its name Ayodhya. Ayodhya means that against which one cannot fight a war. So King Dasharatha ruled very well and ensured that every single person was prosperous, and he also chose his ministers well. Now let's talk about Kishkinda. Kishkinda was situated inside a dense forest of Dandakaranya, and it was kind of like a cave. So before, when we talked about Vanaras, we talked that they were the rulers of Kishkinda. And now Lanka. Lanka is where Ravana was ruling. And Vishwakarma designed the city of Lanka. And after Kuber, Ravana started ruling Lanka. So these are the main characters and the main cities involved. But of course, there are a lot more characters and lot more places which will be coming as we progress. But these are important to remember. Hence, I thought of making a video about this. So hope you all enjoyed this video and thank you for listening. See you in the next video. Namaskar.